Bring that ass to the smoke pit because we have a fantastic guest calling in today, Nate Weber, Green Beret, Olympic athlete. No big deal, just crushing all the goals. So he's calling in through Zoom, so the audio quality may not be the best, so please excuse us this week for that. But, we wanted to make sure we get to bring you these awesome guests. Hilarious episode brought to you by combatcomeover.com. Products for your hair, beard, other areas. Use our discount code Smoke Pit to save yourself some money, as well as Grill Your Ass Off Seasoning. GrillYourAssOff.com, discount code Smoke Pit. They have all kinds of rubs for your meat. So enjoy the episode and stay tuned afterwards for a special message. What's up, Cream Pyres and Death Defiers? We are here with a very special guest today. Green Beret, Olympic athlete, just absolute beast of a man.
Hey guys, Nate Weber here, U.S. Army Green Beret, 10th Special Forces Group member, and currently U.S. Army World Class Athlete Program member, 18 Olympian in the sport of bobsled, and all around circus clown on the internet right now.
Yeah,
you guys.
So bobsledding, that has to be a lot of like hip and leg and like back driving, So I can imagine that you really give Hoors the business for at least 10 seconds.
Yeah. It's one of the definite perks of the job. Out there and wear tights and show off my ass. So it's ladies know what they're getting themselves in for.
Yeah.
Prior to, and it's always a good time, and I think I picked a good sport because of that.
That's perfect. Yeah,
they're getting Olympic level rogering.
That's right.
The old something like that, for at least for about 30 seconds, because bobsled's not really a cardio sport, so it doesn't last very long.
Well, I mean, you come to the right place.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a lot of aggression right away. It's over really fast. And, I don't know what to tell you after.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it all ends with us yelling cool runnings.
Yeah, that's right.
How many times have you seen cool runnings?
Yeah, I was just about to ask that. Yeah.
Honestly, that was one of my favorite movies as a kid. I watched that thing all the time. And every time someone asks me if I've seen it, I'm probably going to go back and watch it again.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
So how accurate is that to real life bobsledding in the Olympics?
Honestly, not really very accurate at all. Okay. So my story is actually a little bit like that because I spent a lot of my time
poor in Jamaica,
Afghanistan. So like training in really hot places, pushing ATVs and stuff in the desert, Niger, and running through. I wouldn't call it like one mortar that got fired at me one time while I was running sprints in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
But they kind of made a cool running story out of it when I went to the Olympics, which was pretty cool.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Like a dream come true.
Yeah.
That's super fucking dope.
Cool. So if there's any misconceptions about being an Olympic athlete that are out there that clear up, what would you say?
So I'm gonna hit on the big thing that everyone really wants to know is how much sex goes on in the Olympic Village. Is it as crazy as everyone says?
Yeah.
I hate to burst everyone's bubble on this, but it's really not. A lot of the times you've got people who are competing in the first week. So if you're matching up with them on Tinder or whatever, seeing them in the village, they're probably, pretty focused on their event. And then if you're people that go last, which is what we are, then as soon as that first week is over, it's game time for you. So it's actually pretty hard to do.
He's tried.
Yeah.
And a lot of the whatever they say, the million condoms were used. A lot of those are just taken as a joke because they usually have funny stuff written on them or little funny characters. Because we were in Korea, so there was a little condom man on it, and it got some pretty big laughs. But it's unfortunately not this big, wild, crazy orgy that most think it is.
I will never watch again.
Yeah.
I know.
And I think the second most burning question that our listeners would want to know are the condoms smaller in Korea?
Honestly, they were still too big for me, so I can't offer a whole lot of advice on that one. It was too hot outside to be wearing them anyway, so.
Okay. Well, again, you've come to the right place.
I love it.
Right on. So, when did you first realize that you were gonna go after bobsledding? I grew up in Florida, so like we don't have ice there to begin with. So I've never been skiing or anything like that. But Mike grew up in South Canada, so Indiana,
the greatest state.
The land where sleeves are optional.
That's
and
right.
You eat with your hands.
Fuck yes.
Yeah, so where did you grow up? Was there a bobsledding facility? Like I've never seen a place where like you could be like, take a date bobsledding, you know?
Yeah.
Oh man, that would be quite the date. I need to get back on the track, take girls up to the bobsled track.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Play pretty at night. But so I grew up in Colorado. But most bobsledders actually don't grow up doing the sport. Very rarely does that happen. We recruit most of our athletes from, maybe a year or two in the NFL, or they ran track in college. You get a lot of those guys. So how I got into it is I'm going to tell you a story, and the name of the story is I took a shit and it changed my life.
That's going to be the title of this episode.
Of course.
Yeah, that's a great title for the episode. So I was going through my special forces training, and a buddy of mine trying to get his Green Beret early, going through his first divorce while we were going through our training. So he had a barracks room right above where we did all our medical stuff at. And I'm a medic. He's a medic. We were doing our training. And I went up there one day, and wouldn't you know it, this was before the time of cell phones. So I had to take a shit. And I picked up a magazine. It was a Men's Health magazine. It had a story in it about a guy who dropped out of the Air Force Academy and tried out for the bobsled team, because apparently they do recruiting combines. And if you're a really good athlete, you can basically teach a monkey how to push a bobsled if he's a good enough athlete.
Yeah.
Said that he won a gold medal 3 years later. And I'm like, man, if that motherfucker can win a gold medal, I was the fastest kid at field day in elementary school. Please make the Olympic team. So I ran my mouth to some of my surgery instructors, and honestly, I forgot about the whole thing until like 2 years later. And this surgery instructor, he walks up to me, because he came to my company at 10th Group. He's like, "Hey, Nate, what the hell, man? I thought you said you were going to be an Olympian. What happened with that?" And literally later that day, I walked into our strength and conditioning program, and I showed him, "Hey, this is what they test on for bobsled. I need you to make me good at this. Can you do that?" And then fast forward to 8 years later, I was on the Olympic team with the guy I read about.
Oh, that's cool.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So like how did they notify you that you had made the team? Was it like carrier pigeon? Like did somebody come flying out of the tree in a snowboard and just like hand you the paper and like hit a sweet half pipe?
Yeah.
Like how did it happen?
So you have a pretty good idea, because you know how many teams you qualified. So we qualified 3 sleds for the last Olympics, and it was pretty much known, hey, if you're on one of those sleds, if you're the guys pushing them, be on the Olympic team. But it was pretty cool. So we were in Berchtesgaden, Germany at the time, when they were going to make the announcement. And we had just, raced our last race before the selections were going to be decided the week before. So we're in this office at the bobsled track where you can see Hitler's eagle's nest from.
Oh, wow.
And we're all sitting in a room just kind of waiting, basically like, it's going to happen. It's a done deal. It was so cool. And the CEO of USA Bobsled comes in and tells everyone, the US Olympic team is this, and they tell you, whose sled you're going to be on. So that was really the only surprise at the time, but it was, in the mountains in Germany, snow falling, eagle's nest up above us. It was a pretty awesome experience to say the least.
Wow.
That's fucking dope. Yeah.
That's one of those fucking like once in a lifetime kind of moments,
I need to shit and read Men's Health more often.
Yeah, you never know what's going to happen if you pick up a magazine on the toilet.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So being that, you were, that you got your Green Beret and your Special Forces, how much of your book is going to be dedicated to that moment?
You know what? I need to come up with a good working title for my book, because everyone tells me I need to write one.
Yeah, because I'm not shitting on you, because like we're in the process of writing our book. Like if you can make money, my friend,
yeah.
Should I go with the same title we're doing for the podcast? I took a shit and it changed my life. I mean, I don't know if that one's necessarily family friendly, but I'm not exactly family friendly anymore.
Well, see, the thing is like, I don't know what the general public think, Green Berets do, but generally it's not very family friendly.
That's true.
Yeah. So that was a culture shock for me when I kind of sold it to everyone. I'm like, hey, this would be great PR for you guys if I can make the Olympic team, because I did it while I was a member of 10th Group. I had a lot of really great command support while I was going through that whole process.
I can't even get a dental appointment because we got the field. Like, they're letting you go to the Olympics. Like, fuck yes, you had a good command.
Yeah, no, the 10th group command is 100% the reason why I was able to go to the Olympics. So support me through it and everything. And I kind of sold it to him like, hey, this would be great PR. I did run into a little bit of trouble with my Instagram and stuff, because I have pictures with my shirt off and everything. And you know how like brass is in the Army. It wasn't my command, it was other people. But they were apparently a little upset about that. And I'm sitting over here like, do you not know the kind of guys who want to join Special Forces?
Right.
They want to see me wearing dress blues and saluting the American flag every day. They want to see a little bit of real stuff. They want to see me drinking beer and having fun and, doing meathead things with my friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when I tried out for reconnaissance, it wasn't service to country or glory. It was shirtless pictures of men drinking beer.
Yes, exactly.
I want them to PT me so hard that I got the V cut, but I never did.
Yeah, it's we're not a bunch of choir boys as much as they want to pretend we are in the public image. It's there's some bad dudes. In SF and Marine Recon and in the SEALs, it's it's a cultural thing.
Mm-hmm. Very much so.
Yeah. So we have our preconceptions about the Olympics, and you've dispelled all of our hopes and dreams about that. Right. Like, I mean, that now any.
I don't know. Okay, so hold on. Let me caveat that. Maybe it was just me. Maybe I just don't have any game. Maybe it's a me problem.
Well, after this episode airs, you're going to be swimming in it, brother. So don't worry about it.
Oh man, I don't even know what to say. Thank you for me with all of your groupies.
Fun fact: I think it was 10, 11 months ago or so, a girl tried to catfish me by claiming that she was on the Olympic snowboarding team.
That's true.
And that's such a bold fucking claim that for like the first month, like I didn't even think to fact check it, And then I started fucking realizing, I was like, wait a second. I feel like there would be more pictures of her at the Olympics on her Instagram instead of just all these like slutty, like lingerie or like booty short pictures. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I Googled and there was nothing to be found. And so like I confronted her about it, and she came up with some like bullshit excuse. And I was just like, I'm really so fucking stupid that like I didn't even Google this. Like, oh, he's hot, like
yeah.
How fucking stupid could you, like, I know how stupid I am, but how fucking stupid could an individual possibly be? So like have you ever experienced whether it be with Green Berets or some sort of athletic club or achievement, like somebody's like tried to bullshit you and you've been able to sniff them out?
Oh, so actually something similar to what you said happens a lot at the Olympics, is you have to be careful out there. A lot of people aren't savvy to it. You get people who will try and catfish you. So if you're swiping on Tinder or doing whatever, you'll match with people and they'll say they're in Korea or whatever, but they'll immediately want to FaceTime or Skype or do whatever it is. And you get on Skype with them and immediately take off their clothes, immediately start playing with themselves. And it's like, I could see how people could fall into this trap. But
what's the fucking problem here? Like, that's the opposite. Like, we know.
Oh yeah, no, like you get
months without FaceTiming, and they're already flicking the beam like on day one.
Oh yeah, no, you get like Playmate style women who are doing this, and they're running a scam because they want to get you on a webcam. Mm-hmm. They're like, oh, pull it out, daddy, and I'm like, I don't think so. Not gonna happen.
Yeah.
But they want you to pull it out on camera so they can try and blackmail you for money and everything. The good thing is with bobsledders is, you know, we usually make it to more than one Olympics, so people are savvy to this, and you know, we brief each other up on it before we go. And as soon as we get one of these girls, we call everyone into the room. We're like, boys, we got one, and we get a little free show, and it's a lot of fun. So
camaraderie. That's what it's all
there's
about.
That, but people try and catfish women with my picture all the time. I don't really get it. I'm like, you could pick a much better looking guy than me if you're going to catfish women.
Yeah.
But you go play your game. Maybe it's they want to look a little bit attainable, but yeah, no, I see that stuff all the time, and every now and then, like, I'll have someone slide in my DMs, and I'm like, all right, your profile is sketchy. I'm usually pretty good at sussing this stuff out now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, you want to tell them about that thing you did with the catfishing? What was the name of that program?
Social Catfish. That was called.
You were the one who did the article.
I drink a lot. I don't know. So essentially, a very nice company out of California reached out to me because I am also one of the ones who.
Jesus Christ.
I have. Yeah, please look it up. I have at least a dozen a week of new people saying, "Oh, I'm being scammed by pictures of you," because military pictures, and now that you say attainability is probably a portion of it. But yeah, so they reached out to me and they did like this whole op-ed piece about like just being careful and just like reading the signs and stuff. So I guess my question to you is like, do you still empathize with the victims of this stuff, or have you reached a point where you're like, fuck, who cares? Because I'm at fuck, who cares right now.
No, I still do. I think people need to be a little bit smarter about it, because I mean, let's be realistic. Like, if I'm sitting on the other end of the computer screen, I realize a Playboy Playmate is not messaging me, you know?
That is absolutely false, because you're way taller and than I am.
Exactly.
And I've messed around with it. So no, you
okay, first off, I'm only 5 foot 14 inches tall. So not even above 6 feet. And apparently being tall is a thing.
5'6", okay.
On a good day.
Yeah, I found this out recently that, you know, that lets people be ugly. Is, hey, as long as you're tall, you can be as ugly as you want to be.
Let's be nice.
Oh, what a time to be alive. But I empathize with them a little bit, because I mean, it's always nice to have that hope that, hey, this really cool thing could be happening. But at the same time, it's like they're probably speaking broken English to you,
right?
They're not getting on FaceTime with you. You're not doing your due diligence to verify. And at what point ever has a soldier like been deployed and needed money to get back? That's not
right. Exactly. Yeah.
It's like y'all, both guys and girls, both of you need to be smarter.
Yeah.
It happens on both sides. People need to be a little bit smarter about it and be a little bit more realistic about what's going on. And you know, look at the red flags, which, in all honesty, I'm not the best at doing. I can't date someone unless they, you know, present me a big bouquet of red flags right at the beginning. I'm like,
right on. So, Mike, you got any more questions for our guests before we start plugging our sponsors?
Oh no, I'm good, man. Yeah, I'm good. What do you want? I'm the co-host.
Really?
I sit here, I look charming, and I giggle at your terrible jokes.
See, you got to tell people to follow me on Instagram at Nate Weber Actual.
There we go.
Know, I'm being more myself on there now. A little bit less PC, a little bit less family friendly. Guns, beer drinking, memes occasionally. Give me a follow. I'd appreciate it. You know, all the support you can give me to get to the next Olympics is, man, it's really appreciated. I love all you guys out there.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, we appreciate you taking the time. I know you have a very demanding schedule of beer drinking and vagina slaying, preparation for various things. Like I'm looking at a picture of you now in wrestling speedo.
Yeah, it's a singlet.
Yeah, with a
the singlet.
Yeah. Oh, you look good,
a
man.
giant lightning bolt coming from your crotch.
Yeah, I can see the pork and the beans.
Hey, you know what? Go ahead and plug that all you want. My favorite pastime is disappointing women. So line up, ladies. Here I am.
Right.
Okay, and so is there anything else you want everybody to know about you before we sign off?
About me, man, I feel like we talked about me the whole time. You know, I think I've said it all. Like, I'm a big fan of yours. I have been for a long time. I appreciate what you're doing. I appreciate you having me on the podcast. It's really awesome. Just kind of, you know, thank you to everyone who's listening and, you know, that buys into this stuff and is a fan of this stuff, because it's really cool to be a part of this and be a part of this community.
Yeah, we appreciate that, and it's always great to see veterans going on to do I know you're still active, but like, you know, people going on to do other things besides their, you know, just their deployments. One of the most meaningful messages that I've gotten recently is that somebody said that they follow me because they enjoy seeing like Mike and I go out and do these events and like travel and do cool stuff, because like your best days aren't like when you were 18 to 22. Like there are so many good times beyond that. And, you know, whether it's, you know, your service or the things that you do in the afterglow of that, or the people that you go on to help afterwards, it's like you don't have to look back at your quote unquote glory days, because regardless of wherever you came from, you can always have your better days ahead. It's just a matter of having the, you know, the indomitable spirit to tell yourself, like, I'm not done. Like I'm not done with my mission, whatever that may be, to help people, to compete athletically in whatever arena. You know, like there's, you know, people who didn't get famous until they're in their 50s or 60s. My grandfather ran his first marathon in his 70s. You know, like there's so much daylight ahead of these guys, and it's so sad to see when somebody gets out at 22 or 23 and now they're 28 or 35 and they think that they're just a washed up piece of shit because, you know, they're no longer in uniform. It's like, brother, man, you don't need that. You can set your mind on something. You can help people. There's not events in your area, create your own one. And there's light out there. There's hope. You can control your future. You get to decide what comes next.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's 100% a mentality. If you're sitting there today, you know, and someone's asking you, hey, what's the coolest thing that you've done? What's the coolest thing you're working on? And, you know, it's something 5 years in your past, man, it's time to start working on something new. Always be working towards a goal, always be trying to do something bigger and better. You never want to have the same story that you told a couple years ago be the best story you've ever told. And I've come to realize that over the past few years is every single year my life gets better and better. It's, you know, it's because I keep working at it and trying to do new things. And honestly, like 2 years from now, I'm hoping to be in another Olympics. But I know that's not going to be the end for me. I want to do something bigger and better after that. So the Olympics will hopefully be, you know, like a little side note to, hey, I did this and this and this. Also, I was an Olympian. I think it's really important for people to have that mentality. Is always keep working, always keep your eyes on the prize, always have some sort of goal to go to.
Mm.
All right, Mike, now you say something inspirational.
No fucking way. No fucking way.
Mike's like, I will catfish so many Chinese women.
Hey, you know what? My pictures work really, really well for that. Yeah. Well, I'm giving you official creative license to go ahead and, you know, screenshot all my pictures off of Instagram and see whatever you get out of it. It's not going to be much. Mm-hmm. You're going to be fishing the bottom of the barrel, but you know what? It's still fishing. So.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And I think although I'm so sick and tired of hearing Special Forces guys tell me it's mindset, you know, like I'm just tired. It's a fat, lazy piece of shit, and that's not going to change. I need you to tell me something else that's going to fix me. I'm kidding, but
No, get off. We'll get off the inspirational train for a second. And we'll just go with, fuck bitches, get money. That's the mindset you need to have.
There it is.
Well, yeah, but at the end of the day, it is a mindset, because there's been times, and we've talked about this before, where you're on deployment and it's like, hey, nobody gets shot today because I will fuck the gunshot wound, Mm-hmm. So I don't know the barrel it is. If you're pulling ass, you're pulling ass. Like, be grateful.
Hey, you know what? If you've had a girlfriend who's been on her period, it's not much different. So
yeah.
No, and that has not stopped either of us.
No, you know what? You got to be brave some days. You got to be brave. Throw down a towel and get to business, because dad needs to get taken care of. And I've always told everyone this. Who's my dick is big enough for one to get one person off, and that's me. And that's really
fantastic.
Yeah, that's. I think that's gonna be the quote that I put under the
Oh man, I can't wait till this gets put out and this gets sent up to USASOC and USASOC, every other agency. Oh man, this is gonna be great news for Nate.
Well, they're big fans, so
yeah.
All right, so lightning round. I have 3 quick questions for you, and I just need to hear the first thing that comes to your mind.
All
right, Mike, fuckable or super fuckable?
I'm gonna go with super fuckable.
That's big. That means a lot. Thank you.
Okay. Next question is: if you had to write a book today, what would the title be?
Well, I think we've covered this already. I took a shit and it changed my life.
All right. Now, if the publishers are like, you can't use the word shit, what would you say?
Well, I took a dump and it changed my life.
There it is.
I love the
PC version.
That's right.
Or let me throw a little bit of shade to the Navy SEALs way. How about I dropped off the SEAL team and it changed my life? Oh, we got some unfollows over that one. We got some people mad.
Ooh. Just gonna hide in this hood.
I'm just kidding. I love you guys. I come to San Diego and steal your women every now and then.
Just stay away from Virginia Beach, you son of a bitch. Women here are homely. They don't deserve you.
Oh man, I hear Virginia Beach is nice this time of year. Marine Corps balls and everything.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Lots of chlamydia going on.
Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah, I'm itching just thinking about it.
And I will say that the most depressing thing about it is this is about the time of the year that most of like the InstaFit girls that I know in the area are getting played by military dudes. So it's just like their stories are just constantly filled with like inspirational quotes. And
oh my God, hey, you know what? Miss me with that stuff. I get it. You're a strong woman and he's not good enough for you. But let's be honest. 50% of the time, actually probably more than statistically speaking, more than 50% of the time, you're probably the problem. So all the inspirational stuff you want, I see right through it.
There was this girl that I knew. She just turned 18 and she was like Miss Teen Brazil, and from Florida. And I met her on OkCupid, dating myself.
How old are you?
Yeah. And so she was just full of fucking games and drama. And I got to the point where I was just like, look, I'm done with your shit. And she's like, oh, you're just like every other guy. And I was like, well, if every guy fucking acts this way, then maybe you're the problem because you're the only common denominator. And she got fucking mad.
Okay, so someone told me something that I'm taking kind of now as sage women or sage wisdom. If she's hot and she's single, she's the problem, man.
I mean, that's fair. Because the funny thing is that like the cool thing about like our female followers is a lot of them are like they're not prima donnas. Like they'll like be like, yeah, like, you know, that's obviously not all women, but we know which ones you're talking about.
Yep. Yep. We've seen it. A tale as old as time.
Yeah. And it's usually like, you know, if your guy friends tell you to avoid a girl, like that can be taken hit or miss depending on how fucking dry it's been for you. But if a female friend tells you to avoid a girl, like you should take that to heart. I think.
100%. 100%.
I like him.
Agreed.
Like
1,000%.
All right. Final question. Would you rather kill 1,000 Taliban and nobody know, or kill 0 Taliban and everyone thinks that you killed 1,000 and you have to deal with like the press tour and publicity and medal ceremony as a fraud?
Actually, I'm kind of the second person. I don't know. People think I've probably killed tons of people in my military career and stuff, which isn't the case. But I would, if I had to choose, I would rather kill 1,000 Taliban and no one know, because I don't know. I am the second guy. I'm the second guy, except I'm very, very upfront in everything about my service, which I think is important to do. If anyone lies about it, fuck you, you're a piece of shit. If the best story you have is a lie, go fuck yourself.
Wow, that's big.
Not to brag too much, but I have killed millions of Taliban. I made sure that I gave all of our POWs hand jobs,
right,
and to make sure that their seed would not find their way into Taliban uteruses.
Mm-hmm. That's diabolical. That's absolutely diabolical. I don't know why I wasn't doing that on my deployments. Yeah. Maybe I can get another deployment in before I hit 20. I can take that pearl and share it with my junior Delta and whoever else is on my team, and we'll do the Lord's work.
Yeah, because we've been in this war for 18 years. That means the guys that weren't getting jacked off in 2011, their kids are now 18.
We could have solved a lot of problems that way. If we were just jerking them off 18 years ago, there wouldn't be any of them left.
No, there wouldn't.
It's true.
And I'm not to brag or anything, but after my deployments were over, you notice there was a big downtake. After 2012, essentially, the war's kind of dwindled down. And I don't want to take
what? Eventually, they're going to call the generation of Taliban that come after you left Afghanistan. They're going to be like the boomers.
Yeah.
Same thing as World War II. It's a big population spike because Daniel's not there to Taliban. He's got to go back to his goat, and sometimes they get pregnant too. Never trust a goat when she says she's on birth control.
Fuck me sideways is what the goat would say.
Is what the goat would say.
Yeah. Which my goat isn't the best, but it usually translates to accent is very important,
Yep, you're a bad man.
Yeah,
there it is.
That's more sheep. I don't know. You know what? They're all the same to me. I can't tell them apart at this point.
All right, awesome.
Racist.
All right, so closing thoughts. We have a fair amount of listeners who are either in high school or in college, and they're part of either the JROTC or the ROTC program. What advice would you give to people who maybe just started their career or about to just start their career, as far as being a little bit more experienced and have done a lot more things? What advice would you give to those young guys?
So the advice I would give those young guys is no one's going to be an advocate for your career but you. So if you want to do something, you need to make sure that you're the one making that happen. And if you put yourself in positions where you're volunteering for things, where you're working hard, where you're doing that sort of stuff, opportunity will come from that. You'll be the guy who gets that Ranger school slot. You'll be the guy who gets that Airborne school slot. If you're a guy who really wants to go and have a career in the military and be successful and do cool stuff, you need to work for that, because it's the same as everywhere else. As hard as you work is as hard as or as much opportunity as you'll get.
And you too can have hip surgery at 32.
Yes, absolutely. Which we'll see. Jury's out on that one, whether that's from the from the military and my service, or from extracurriculars.
No. As far as
say, it's 100% from the military.
Directly related. You're like, Olympics, what?
Yeah.
Will not get treatment otherwise.
Oh no, I was talking about other extracurriculars, but those are all allegedly.
Allegedly, I like that.
Perfect.
It's it's word of the day on the show.
It is. No, it is.
Usually, whenever we say that, a bunch of whores pop out. We do cocaine, but we're trying to keep a little bit more PG since you're on the show.
Oh yeah, no, it's no one I've ever known or ever seen has ever done anything like that. I can't believe I bring it up. It's terrible. I'm going to send you some links to some nice churches, some online. You guys can find Jesus.
Fantastic. Well, again, Nate Weber on Instagram. Look for his new book. I took a dump and it changed my life. That's available in audio.
Yeah, strictly audio.
Yeah, I think we're getting Sean Connery to narrate the audible.
Yeah, I was taking a shit.
I was taking a shit. No, that would be epic. That would be epic. I wish I was that cool.
Well, brother man, thank you for your time, and bye.
Thank you for having me on. Peace out, guys.
We hope you enjoyed that episode as much as we enjoyed recording it. And if you did, please share with your friends. We appreciate it, even if it's just a mention in conversation, or if you're smashing that share button and sending it to all your contacts. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. Or not, that's cool too. But do check out warfighterscuba.org, nonprofit group that does diving trips for combat wounded veterans. Super cool, as well as strikeforceenergy.com, discount code SMOKEPIT to get the liquid energy packets that we always have in our beer whenever we're recording. All right, guys, have a good weekend and happy holidays.